Good morning. Good morning to each of you. I am Dr. Corrine Johnson, and I would like to welcome each of you on this morning to Grace for Today 5 Minute Devotional. And on this morning, our subject is going to be trusting God in difficult times. And our key scripture is going to be coming from the division of Psalm 13, verses 1 through 2. And it says, "How long, Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts and day after day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me?" And so, if we would be honest this morning, we would have to admit that we have all asked God questions such as the ones that David is asking the Lord in today's scripture. Perhaps, as was the case with David, God didn't answer us. So Job asked God why he was in the situation that he was in, but God never gave him an answer either. Without unanswered questions, we would need to trust in God. And that is what he wants us to do, to trust him, to trust his ways, and to trust his timing. The Bible uses language such as in due time, at the appointed time, and in the fullness of time. None of these phrases tell us what we would like to know, but they do tell us that God has a perfect timing for our deliverance and breakthrough. David must have been distraught when he wrote Psalms 13, because he goes on to say that if God doesn't give him light, then he may die, and his enemies was going to rejoice when he dies. But as we have seen before, David boldly shares his thoughts and his feelings with the Lord, and then declares that he trusts in his unfailing love and will continue to sing praises unto his God. So we all can relate to David in his questioning. I know I can. And hopefully, we can also relate to his decision to trust God in the midst of all of his questions. Yes, when we are going through different things, we may not understand why things are happening in our lives, but at the same time, we can trust that God will help us, and just at the right moment, he can deliver us. And so, once again, many of us have been like David, and we've asked God, how long? Have you forgotten about me, God? How long are you going to hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with these crazy thoughts that the enemy is putting in my mind on a day-to-day basis? How long are you going to let the enemies that are talking about me, gossiping about me, slandering my name, how long are you going to allow them to triumph over me? Are you just going to sit silent, God? Are you not going to get revenge for me? Are you not going to begin to make things happen? But once again, sometimes God doesn't answer. Even when we plead, when we make a plea, just like I did, sometimes God still doesn't answer. And he doesn't answer once again because he wants us to trust him. He wants us to let us do what only he can do, and that is deliver us from the hands of every enemy that's coming up against us. And so we got to trust God in difficult times. I know it's difficult when you're waiting for a breakthrough and you're tired of suffering, but I want to encourage you, put your trust in God and know that at the appointed time that he will deliver you. And so on this morning, We certainly thank the Lord for each of you for tuning in and joining with us for Grace for Today 5-minute devotional. And it is my prayer that as you go forth on today, that you will go forth and have a blessed day.